Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation.
Fellow citizens of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, I bring you greetings from State House. I bring you greetings from our leader, His Excellency Sisiko Ayoktabe, and the Cabinet. I would like to inform you that this struggle is on course and we are winning big. I'd like to tell the people of Ambazonia that very soon you will be in your own country. You will never again hear a colonial administrator pass an illegal order asking citizens of 16 of our villages to leave their houses and communities within hours, not caring how many of those are very old mothers and fathers, how many of them are pregnant women or women who just recently had children, not caring how many of them are sick, not caring how many of them are in a very desperate situation, children, youth, and what have you. That will be a thing of the past. Fellow Ambazonians, very soon, and we mean very soon from the interim government, you will never again hear people running to Yaoundé and spending weeks upon weeks to chase their own hard-earned money in the name of pensions. You will never hear people again being talked to that illegal language of oppression on our streets, in our villages, in our own offices, in Ambazonia. Fellow citizens, soon and very soon you will never hear your sons and daughters of working age, your sons and daughters as parliamentarians and senators in a foreigner's house being called foreigners in the house, Biafrans, dogs, rats, and what have you. Yes, this is a clarion call again from the interim government that we must rise and stand and finish this journey, which is at the best time in our history. We have been raped enough, we have been maimed enough, we've been massacred enough, we have been humiliated enough, illegally abducted and held up in terrible detention centers, including bunkers. It will be a thing of the past. And that is why tonight the interim government again comes to you to say courage. Remain different, remain strong. Just know we are so on course. When a woman is pregnant, it takes 9 months for that child to pop out, and that child could be the next president of Ambazonia. So we want to tell you that we do not want to present half-baked news. We are doing good. We are doing so good. You heard the interim government announced a few weeks ago, and they're working very hard so that within 100 days, the blueprint of the president would clearly show that we have moved mountains. Tonight again, we are very pleased from the office of the president to announce yet other illustrious, resourceful personalities that are coming to bring in fire and move this struggle with unbelievable speed. You may allow me read the press release from the President's office. Signed today, the 13th of December 2017, reference number 03-1217, by the authority vested in me, His Excellency Sisiko Ayoktabe, I hereby make the following appointments. Ambassador to the Republic of Lebanon, Mr. Michel L. Chatter. Ambassador to the United Arab Emirates, Mr. Eli J. Tuck. Ambassador for the Caribbean and Mexico, Dr. Nge J. Toyang, Ambassador to the Republic of Guinea, Mr. Georges L. Chata, signed Sisiko Ayoktabe, President, Federal Republic of Ambazonia. And from the government, would like to tell the people to know that we are not in the business of going into social media and chatting without direction. We know the results speak for themselves. And we promise the Ambazonian people that we are on course. The pregnancy is growing at the rate of expectation, sometimes even more than we expect. Very soon, just very soon, the news will start blowing the airwaves, and then La Republic would know that their days were not only numbered, that their days are up. So as government, we send a very, very strong message to Mr. Paul Biya, to Yaoundé, to the terrorist gang of La Republique du Cameroon that continues to rape our country in various forms. We tell them that military madness will never and never win. Military rape and execution of our people, La Republique's genocide, the intimidation only does one thing: helps the Ambazonian people to build a watertight case so that these criminals spend their last days where they truly belong. So a very clear message from the government of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia to the government of French Cameroon, La Republique du Cameroon. There is no military solution to the Ambazonian question. There is no military solution to our quest for restoration. No occupier, no amount of military madness or security personnel can ever win a war against very determined people. And if you doubted the resolve of the Ambazonian people, if you doubted our inspiration to liberate our country, if you doubted our determination, then yes, the rape, the persecution, the maiming, even the displacement that was recently announced by your killer colonial divisional officer, Joseph Omtu, sends a clear message to you that you will never win. The Ambazonian question is a political question. Only political solutions will deliver. We from the Ambazonian government send messages of condolences to the hundreds and hundreds of our families that continue to bury loved ones. Nobody, no government has a right to murder, to kill anybody on earth. La Republique du Cameroon, you cannot bring back the lives of Ambazonians that you have shamelessly and untimely taken into graves. We assure you that even if you bring all your military, you hire all the mercenaries you're able to bribe around the world or bribe through the leaders, and you bring the whole of the French army, you will never and never and never ever win the Ambazonian people. To Ambazonians, you must know that when we declared a restoration on the 1st of October 2017, we activated 3 important things at extreme. Not just legal and diplomacy, we activated self-defense. You have a right. You have a right. You have a right to defend yourself by every means possible. We have heard of the madness that took place in Memphi. I can recount of the story of the old woman who said when she forced her way into her room, La Republique terrorist, military and security personnel went on the breast of this old woman and were pressing. Shame on La Republic. And I'm asking the world, this is now to the world. If you get into your house and your mother's breast is being pressed by these terrorists, if you have anything in your hand, what will you do? So we are telling Ambazonians that under international law, you have your right to protect yourself by every means possible. The promise we give you from government is that La Republic will be defeated. La Republic will leave Ambazonia, whether they like it or not. And we are promising you that that would not be for long. But there is a key to fast track the victory. The president was very clear. The president was very eloquent on that. The president announced to all Ambazonians to know that the attack on Mamfe, the Mamfe genocide, the Mamfe massacre, is a rallying call for all Ambazonians to unite like one man. Unite at all costs. This is not a time for us to try to be winners. No. We are not yet at the stage where we can begin to do politics. If you are part of this struggle, you are a freedom fighter. If you are a soldier in this struggle, you are a liberator. We must forget about popularity. We must forget about trying to go into talk shows and show how clever, how smart we are. We must try and stop to make people think that we own this struggle. This is the people's struggle. This is the revolution of the people. No leader born of a woman can do what the Ambazonian people have done. So we call upon all to lay down this competition. This is not the time. When we get to Boya, we will open the floodgates. If we hit the madness in La Republic with 200 and something political parties, our parliament can decide to set up 2 or 3 political parties so that we can talk on ideologies and not on political bribery, corruption, and you name the rest. So fellow Ambazonians, we are saying that as an Ambazonian, you need to choose your sides today as we address you from government. There are 4 types of Ambazonians we have in this struggle. We have people who must be right at all costs. No matter what, no matter where the information comes from, no matter how wrong the information is, they try to be so right. Now, to you, that category of people, I'm telling you that you unfortunately are becoming an agent of La Republic du Cameroon. They are in all our social media profiles. They manufacture messages in order to get you warmed up, and you become their best propagandists for such messages. We are advising you that facts don't lie, and real people do not talk on hearsay. They research, they get irrefutable facts on the talk. So if you don't have something good to say about a leader or anybody in this struggle, no matter the front where they come from, please stay quiet. That is the motto of this struggle. Let's remember there's one Ambazonian, one people. So when you attack me, it never makes you a winner. The second category of people in this struggle are people who want to be liked. Listen, as we fight to free our country, none of us knows who will finally make it to Boya. So please, keep that aside. Let us focus. Let us be very, very focused. Let's remember that the currency for this struggle is sacrifice. And the best of such sacrifice is silent sacrifice. Sacrifice to the utmost. Sacrifice like never before. Let that be known by you and your God. We are not in a political contest. Don't try to be liked. No. Try to do the right thing for this struggle so we can make the journey to Boya short. There are others who must win at all costs. And from the interim government, we are saying, we only have one opponent and enemy. Those are the occupiers, the imperialists. La Republic du Cameroon leadership. Can we all turn our attention to that? You know that this government is being expanded. You know that there were sufficient consultations before the government was formed. And of course, you equally know that when the government was announced, not everybody was happy. But remember that real people fight in the house. They don't go outside to belittle themselves. So this is a message to leaders. Ring in your followers. Let them focus on fighting the enemy and not fighting each other. We don't need to belabor that point from the interim government. There are others who want to be comfortable. Listen, you cannot free your country from comfort. You cannot pretend that this struggle does not concern you. If you doubted the correctness of this struggle, please look at Manu. One madman gets up, writes a secular. Others, everybody, teacher, lawyer, pastor, student, farmer, business person, leave your house, your community, leave your village. If we meet you, you are a terrorist, we will kill you. And they have been shooting. They have been maiming. And so many of our people, unfortunately, have got to cross over to Nigeria. Are these really the people you want to federate with? Are these really the people you still want to stay in the illegal, corrupt union called one and indivisible Cameroon without an S? Because you must know that in 1961, it was supposed to be Cameroons with an S. The message is too clear for any blind person to know that Ambazonians have gone, that we have taken back our country. It is not a question of if, it is a question of when. And as the president announced, the call is, your mouth should be where your pocket is. This is the time for every single Ambazonian, wherever you are, especially those of you in the diaspora that we are talking to now, to donate like you've never donated before. You don't need to have the money. Go to the bank, borrow the money. Let it be your freedom investment, because that money will make us push out La Republic as soon as possible. That money will make a movement to Boya so short. If you want to get good news, invest. Please remember that money is not harvested on trees. Ambazonians have got the will and the power. Let us all be ambassadors of good news. Let us all be ambassadors of unity. Let us focus on the main project. And that is the project to free Ambazonia. Fellow citizens, before you attack any Ambazonian again on social media, we would like you to look at Nigeria. We are almost having 50,000 refugees. Some of you have been refugees. And to those of you who have not been refugees, please do the research. A refugee is somebody who is forced to leave their home without planning. And because they are not planning, the only thing they need to secure is their life. So they take nothing. They don't even have money to move from point A to B. And as they are going, they have no idea where they will end. They don't know if they'll arrive there alive. They don't know where they'll put their head, whether on a stone or on a farm bed. They don't know where they will drink water next, not even to talk of food or even change a dress on themselves. Fellow Ambazonians, that is the state of our brothers and sisters in Nigeria. Not out of their own making. The only crime that they committed was that they were born Ambazonians. The only crime they committed was that they were living in Ambazonia. Because if these fellow brothers and sisters of ours were in the diaspora of French Cameroon, yes, they will get intimidation, they will get humiliation, but sometimes they might hide inside them, speak that language of oppression, and people might not know they're Ambazonians and they might be saved. So this is Manu's time. When next will they be coming, to Mancon? When next will they be going to Lebielem? When next will they be going to Gum? My people, don't be blind. The mere fact that you are an Ambazonian means that you are born with a crime. You are born with a crime because you are hated by the leadership of La Republic de Cameroon, and it's been a hate for 56 years. Only Ambazonians can liberate Ambazonians. We will get a lot of foreign support, a lot of friends who will recognize us, who will do everything to ensure that we protect our dignity as human beings. But you that I'm talking to, you must rise up now under the sound of the voice of our president and invest. Especially those of you Ambazonians that God blessed. God blessed you for a purpose. God bless you for a season. This is the season. This God-ordained fight. Let's donate. Get right now to ambergov.org and donate at most. Go donate at most right now. Go to the website of our government, ambergov.com. Call your country leaders. If you live in countries where you are 2, 3, or 5 of you and there is no meeting as yet, form one. That is a revolutionary call. You don't need His Excellency Sisiko to come and do that for you. He is an Ambazonian of equal standing like you. No Ambazonian is bigger than any other one. That's the country we're going to build. So you must play your part. While I play my part, the leader of our revolution plays his part, and every other single Ambazonian play their part. We must continue to support our refugees, those in Nigeria and other countries. Please, 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 and please again. Lots of things that are a waste for you, clothes, shoes, some of them new, you've never used them before, but most importantly, money, because to send things to Nigeria alone costs money. If you were able to contribute and say this money is allocated only for refugees, the refugees will receive that and you will save a life. You must know that on a daily and weekly basis, several women are giving birth to children, and we need just nappies or food for these young Ambazonians who are now born as refugees out of a crime which was never theirs from conception. We still have a lot of our brothers and sisters in jail. Fellow Ambazonians, we talked about a unilateral demand to the La Republic, the Cameroon government, to do what civilized governments must do. We told them to release all of our leaders and brothers, from Mancho BBC, the face of this struggle, Senator Penn Terrains, Comrade Asa Patrick Ndango, and all others in all the illegal detention centers that they held them. Our brothers and sisters still remain in these illegal detention centers. And we continue to send a message to Yaoundé that the more you leave our people in such terrible conditions, the more you radicalize, the more you inspire people to defend this revolution right to the end. So do the right thing so that we can negotiate and become good neighbors. But remember that that will be on terms which are unshakable, that have been announced by government. We equally say to all our people that are on the run and those that know where they're hiding, to do everything in their powers to support them. One Ambazonia, one people. Just remember that as an Ambazonian, you are guilty as charged. You don't need to commit a crime. And to many of you who doubt it, fly into a neighbor's airport in Yaoundé or in Douala and see what will happen. I want to turn the attention of government tonight to the resignation letter that was submitted by Dr. Elizabeth Ambe. The interim government would like to thank Dr. Elizabeth Ambe for the wonderful and illustrious work she has done. The most important thing we look at from government is the commitment and desire to serve. Dr. Elizabeth is one of those illustrious women who came out and said, I have to play my part. And given the commitment, she will forever enjoy the recognition as the pioneer head of the Amber Educational Board, and she's done wonderful work in setting or putting in place educational policy as well as a curriculum. Dr. Elizabeth, upon her resignation, was Under Secretary for Education. So yes, she was working with the Secretary for Education. Would like to say that her resignation letter was received. We would have loved that she gave a little bit of time to allow Cabinet to go through its processes, to respond to her appropriately, but want to assure her and assure her followers that the Cabinet is proud of her. The Cabinet will be responding to her formally. We know that in the message she sent to social media, she indicated her commitment to continue to serve this struggle, and especially to find areas in the struggle where her passion is deepest. We again know as a people that Takamban relief of the 22nd of September was a great success, partly because of the wonderful work she did. So we asked Dr. Elizabeth to continue to do the good work. We asked her to continue to find areas where her passion is most. And of course, we ask the Ambazonian people to support her and stand by her. The reality is that true fighters never quit. Winners never quit. We know there is a saying that when it's hot in the kitchen, you get out. We don't never say that from the interim government of Ambazonia. We say it is the responsibility of every Ambazonian to play your part. And of course, if you run the relay and hand it over at some point, without a doubt, we will have somebody who will come in and work with you to take it to the next level when you hand over the relay to them. So yes, we would equally take this opportunity to welcome the new person that will be announced by His Excellency Sisiko Ayoktabe to replace a sister who has been doing a wonderful job. And we know, of course, that when the new team presents the 21st century educational package we promised the Ambazonian nation, you will be proud of them. We want to again send very harsh words to Yaoundé and to the international community that you again have made sure that all children of school-going age in Mamfe are on the run. You have again called them terrorists. You've now used their schools as your military camps and military bases. So we want the world to see that the government of the Ambazonian people, a government that is very responsible, has always wanted the school question to be answered as soon as possible. We give very simple conditions to La République du Cameroon, conditions that in every civilized country they would easily be embraced. Condition number one, from Mancho BBC, release all our leaders and all our people wherever they are that were illegally abducted for simply expressing their right to their statehood, Ambazonia. Two, demilitarize Ambazonia down to the pin and make sure all your colonial administrators are smoked out of our region. And three, immediately get into constructive dialogue that addresses the root causes of our problem, and this must take place in a neutral country, preferably out of Africa, umpired by the United Nations that we see as one of the culprits that led us to where we are today. So to the Ambazonian people, the interim government had promised you the schools would begin because we had hoped that this illegal occupier will do the right thing by then. Now we are not even sure whether all other villages would not soon be ordered to leave Ambazonia because they want to rape us of all our resources. I want to re-echo this again, that so long as La République continues to massacre and perpetrate genocide on our people, it is unsafe for any Ambazonian to think that we as a responsible government will ask you to go into a school so they come and gas and kill you like they did on the 22nd and on the 1st. La République must respect the conditions we laid out so that our children can do what is right, so that we again can send our own teachers into classes that will help and stop this miseducation, this misteaching that has been used to slaughter and kill the hope of our people over a long period of time. We ask Ambazonians to continue to adopt teachers and adopt lawyers because they are suffering. Continue to adopt families that are on the run, that have been rendered destitute by this criminal terrorist government in Yaoundé. The government of the Ambazonian people would equally want to use this opportunity to thank all Ambazonians that have joined a Stop Slavery protest march organized in the different countries. So as the government of Ambazonia, we know our people have suffered for too long. And we equally know that La République's brutality has forced our own citizens not only to run and stay in Nigeria, but many of them ran through Libya hoping to get to greener pastures in Europe and were trapped and have now been sold as slaves for as little as $400 US. So as the government of Ambazonia, we roundly condemn slavery in Libya. We roundly condemn the selling of human beings. We say shame to African governments and presidents that have destroyed their countries and forced their citizens to run out of their countries and are now being sold as slaves. We ask all Ambazonian people to stand with all people that are suffering because of this madness and this migration that has now led them to become slaves in Libya. We say no to slavery as the government of Ambazonia. We say no to misrule and no to misleadership perpetrated by any African government, especially terrorism and corruption and nepotism that has forced so many of our people out of their countries. We ask all Ambazonian communities, wherever they are, to join similar marches so that our message is strong and firm. We equally learn from the interim government that Yaoundé has now started another mad act, inhuman act of theirs. They are now picking citizens that remain unaccounted for, Ambazonian citizens, shooting them, killing them, and especially around Yaoundé. We want to condemn all inhuman treatment by the Yaoundé regime. We want to condemn the genocide, the massacre, the torture, the brutality. We want to reaffirm our commitment to the international community that the government of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia is a civilized government, and that our struggle is divine, our struggle is just, and our struggle is legal. We condemn all forms of brutality, all forms, no matter their perpetrators. Our revolution remains peaceful and non-violent, and we promise our people that while we defend ourselves under attack, we will deliver on the mandate, because that is the mandate of every civilized society. Fellow Ambazonians, as I close, I would like to announce the big announcement that I started with. And of course, you're going to get many, but this is one of those special ones. And there will be many more special ones that I'll gladly come to release them. And believe me, that every time cabinet comes here to announce, and we say it's something big, we just don't want to release the pregnancy to the extent you would want to hear it, because when it pops out, you would hear it. So His Excellency Sisiko Ayoktabe, in keeping with his promise to stand with the Ambazonian people, to lead the Ambazonian people, to do everything in his powers to achieve unity, and most importantly, to internationalize our struggle to most, this day sent out a press release 13th of December 2017, and I'm going to read it. It's a special appointment for special illustrious resources that will do us good as a people and fast track our freedom and our movement to Boyo. So reference number 03-1217. By the authority vested in me, I'm reading the release as it is. I hereby make the following appointments as His Excellency Sisiko Ayoktabe. Ambassador to the Republic of Lebanon, Mr. Michael L. Chatter. Ambassador to the United Arab Emirates, Mr. Eli J. Tuck. Ambassador for the Caribbean and Mexico, Dr. Nge J. Toyang. Ambassador to the Republic of Guinea, Mr. Georges L. Chatter. Signed, Sisiko Julius Ayoktabe, President, Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Fellow Ambazonians, as I close, the interim government, your cabinet asks you to remain strong, remain focused, remain united. Kill all form of competition in our midst. Let's cooperate. One people, one Amba, one nation. We call on all our people to remember that this is the season to contribute. Contribute the most. Because as you contribute, the pregnancy will grow bigger. Not too long, the news you've been wanting to hear will blow you, will blow me, and most importantly, will blow La République du Cameroon and the international community. We ask all Ambazonians, especially on social media, stop the character assassination. Leaders that fight get into the house, box in the house. When they come outside, they talk one language. We ask leaders to be responsible. We ask leaders to be accountable. We remind all to know that there is a file somewhere for all of us. We must equally remember that when you have 2 or 3 people seated everywhere, do not trust everybody. If anybody amongst us is manufacturing lies to discredit and character assassinate some of us like some of you are doing, when we get to Boya, your file will come out. A word to a wise is sufficient. A word to a wise is sufficient. Fellow Ambazonians, you must remember that we are now a government, not the governing council. We are now a government. There are certain expectations that you will expect of a country meeting and the expectations you expect of a state government. So we want to assure you that we will only come out and represent the government that we truly are, a responsible government. We will not come out to make you excited. We will not come out to be part of gossip peddlers. We will come out to make pronouncements that will move the struggle to the logical end. And that is a commitment that the Ambazonian government gives its people. Yes, there are differences amongst us, but that does not make us non-Ambazonians. Let's love one another. There's been a lot of emphasis on that. Revolutionary greetings from His Excellency Sisikwa Yoktare, the leader of our revolution. Revolutionary greetings from the cabinet. Revolutionary greetings from ambassadors as we call upon the international community to put serious economic and political sanctions on La République du Cameroon. Following what we have already done as Ambazonians, we promise you Ambazonians that Boya, here we come, and that will be happening very soon. Long live the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Long live our beautiful people. Thank you. God bless you, and good night.
Glory, we the Ambazonians pledge our loyalty. Praises to our Savior who granted us the freedom, and led us to the hero who all the road we gather. Glory to glory, we rise and not to fall. Here in our nation, flowing with earth and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambassador.